Hey, so this video is about how I manage my business finances here in the agency and how I also do payroll. So it's a common question. It's not super clear on how you can do this, especially if you're just hiring on, and if you're building out a team, maybe you can learn something as well from a few of these tips that I have. So let's dive into it. All right, so I'll tell you kind of just how I started, when I first got off the ground in the first couple months. About 8-9 months in, I hired my first employee, and I had absolutely no idea, what I had to do. I never hired anybody, never had anybody on payroll, so I didn't know what I was doing as far as hiring somebody. I took this guy on, and I basically just had him fill out hour sheets, clocked in at this time, clocked out at this time. Boom, at the end of the month, or every 2 weeks, I pay every 2 weeks, so 15th and the 31st of every month. So the 15th and then the last day of the month, I make sure payroll goes out. But at those times, I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't have payroll. I was still an individual. I wasn't corporate incorporated, so I was operating as a sole proprietor, and I was just writing him checks. As a contractor, service work. So I was just writing him checks, which I later found out from my CPA that was not the right thing to do, especially if somebody's operating in your business, at least in California. Double check with your CPA, but that is technically quote unquote an employee. So learned that pretty quickly. And eventually we transitioned over to payroll and got, payroll set up with ADP. That was great. That way we can just have direct deposits into employees' bank accounts. As far as the hour tracking, one of the things that we struggled with early on was okay, we have to use hour sheets. These are all manual. Then you have to calculate your hours and type it and write it all down, which is super inefficient. I didn't like having stuff on paper either, so I like having everything kind of digital. So I suggested we started using Google Sheet timesheets. For each individual has their own sheet that they keep pinned in their email. And I kind of calculated and I built out the formulas so that it spit out their pay, how many hours they worked, and we still use those to this day, and we're a team of 5. So honestly, not the most efficient and probably not the most legit. We tried different apps for hour tracking and different stuff, and those were also kind of making mistakes and errors. So if anybody out there has suggestions on tracking hours for employees, drop them in the comments. I need it probably, but also, it's been working well for us. We have a good system down, so that's been working well. Maybe you can use that for yourself. And then one thing we did is we kind of took our stuff away from ADP as well. And this was in the last year. I moved over to a bookkeeper who handles all of the finance bookkeeping. I get a P&L and a balance sheet at the end of every month, and they file our payroll. It just took that off my plate. That whole accounting stuff, I realized for myself, this, Chris, is not your strength. You suck at, honestly, I suck at it. I'm just not good at it. I don't feel like doing accounting. I don't want to categorize my stuff. I just really don't. At the end of the day, I just want to see them all. Where's my money going? Am I spending way too much on food? Okay, fine. My bookkeeper does that for me, and it's expensive. Don't do that early on. You need to get good at QuickBooks Pro online for the first year or 2 years and keep it organized, because once you do hand that over to a CPA or a bookkeeper, dude, that's going to cost you a ton of money. It cost me a lot of money for my bookkeeper to go back and clean up my books because I sucked at it. So the better you are at it now, the more money you're going to save, the more efficient it's going to be for you, because as you kind of scale, you don't want to be doing everything. You want to definitely hand off, like I always say, as much as you possibly can, and delegate that. So especially if you're not good at it, definitely recommend that. Like I said, if the payroll is something that you guys do and you have suggestions, drop it in the comments. If you're getting any value, guys, please give a thumbs up, please subscribe, ring the bell, and feel free to reach out to me. I know I've been saying, feel free to give me a quick call if you have a quick question. Shoot me an email. Go to chriscostantini.com. I'm doing the 50% off until the end of February 2022. So if you want to get a consulting call, 50% off. Doing that promo for people because, like I said, my number one goal here is to reach more agents and bring more value than anyone else. I don't think people are diving into the nitty-gritty like me. Maybe they are, but I'm not really watching. I'm not paying attention. I'm really just focused on what I'm doing. And every single week, I'm going to keep showing up and delivering what I can. So if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I will make videos on it. I will try to bring it no BS to you, just keeping it super real, straight to the point. You know, I started in a little tiny office, made $7 grand my first year, didn't make anything. Second year, 40 grand. Next year, 90 grand. And then we're going to scale up and we're going to keep making more and more and more. So I'm just going to keep it real. I'm not BSing you with numbers. Like a lot of people out there are like, I'm at like 10 million and I'm making $700,000. Like, yeah, man, it's like, that's impressive. Like if you did, like, please tell us the actual, like, real facts on what you did to get there, because those numbers mean they're great. Like, that's awesome. But like, you got to tell us, like, you spread the wealth. There's enough insurance to go around for everybody. Like, so all I know is that it's not easy. The first couple years, especially if you're independent, starting from scratch, be ready to figure stuff out like timesheets and like payroll. Like, this is why I say, like, there's so much to it, but just be ready for all of it. You're going to be getting curveballs left and right. So hope that helps. If that brought any value, thumbs up. Really appreciate it. And we will see you guys at the top. Let me know if I can help out with anything. See you soon. Peace.